What if I told you that right now, as you're watching this, over 50 million people around the world consider themselves professional content creators? Not as a hobby. Not as a side hustle they're embarrassed to mention at dinner. As their actual career. Their livelihood. Their identity. The creator economy has exploded into a multi-hundred-billion-dollar industry in less than 2 decades, and it is reshaping how money flows, how culture spreads, and how ordinary people build extraordinary influence. This is the story of how we got here, what it really means, and where it's all heading next. To understand the creator economy, you have to go back to a world before it existed. In 2004, if you wanted to reach a mass audience, you needed a record label, a publishing house, a television network, or a film studio. You needed gatekeepers. You needed permission. The internet existed, but it was still largely a consumption medium. People read websites. They didn't build them. They watched videos. They didn't make them. The idea that a teenager in a bedroom could build a global audience was not just unrealistic, it was genuinely inconceivable. Then YouTube launched in 2005. WordPress made blogging accessible to everyone around the same time. MySpace gave musicians direct access to fans. These platforms didn't just change technology. They fundamentally disrupted the relationship between creators and audiences. For the first time in history, the cost of distribution dropped to zero. You didn't need a studio. You didn't need a distributor. You needed a camera, an internet connection, and something worth saying. The early YouTube era was chaotic and experimental. Creators like Smosh, Fred, and Nigahiga built audiences of millions by simply being themselves, funny, weird, relatable. They weren't polished. They weren't professional. And that was exactly the point. Audiences were tired of overly produced, focus-grouped content. They wanted authenticity. They wanted to feel like they were watching a friend, not a corporation. This emotional connection between creator and audience became the foundational currency of the entire creator economy. But connection alone doesn't pay rent. The monetization question was the next great challenge. YouTube introduced its partner program in 2007, allowing creators to earn advertising revenue from their videos. Suddenly, making content wasn't just a passion project. It was a business model. Creators began treating their channels like startups, analyzing analytics, optimizing thumbnails, studying audience retention curves. The amateur era was giving way to the professional one. The 2010s accelerated everything. Instagram arrived and created an entirely new category of creator, the influencer. These were people who didn't necessarily teach you anything or make you laugh. They showed you a lifestyle. They made you want things. Brands noticed immediately. Instead of spending millions on traditional advertising campaigns, a fashion brand could pay a fitness influencer with 500,000 highly engaged followers to post a single photo. The return on investment was extraordinary. By 2016, influencer marketing had become a billion-dollar industry on its own. Patreon launched in 2013 and introduced a concept that changed everything for independent creators. Direct monetization. Instead of relying on platforms to serve ads against your content, you could ask your audience to support you directly. Writers, musicians, podcasters, and artists suddenly had a path to sustainable income that didn't require millions of views. It required a few thousand deeply loyal fans. Kevin Kelly's famous essay about needing only 1,000 true fans to sustain a creative career had found its practical application. Podcasting grew quietly during this period too. Joe Rogan, Serial, and My Favorite Murder proved that audio content could command massive, devoted audiences. When Spotify signed Joe Rogan for a reported $100 million in 2020, the entire media world had to take creators seriously in a way they never had before. This wasn't a YouTuber getting lucky. This was a creator negotiating a deal that rivaled what traditional network television stars earned. The COVID-19 pandemic was an unexpected accelerant for the creator economy. With the world locked down, people turned to online content in unprecedented volumes. But more importantly, millions of people who had lost jobs or found themselves with unexpected free time decided to start creating. TikTok exploded onto the global scene during this period, democratizing video creation further than anything before it. Its algorithm didn't favor established accounts. It favored compelling content. An account with 0 followers could go viral overnight. New creators weren't just joining the economy, they were reshaping it. By 2022, Goldman Sachs had estimated the creator economy at roughly $250 billion, with projections to reach $480 billion by 2027. Those numbers include everything from advertising revenue and brand partnerships to merchandise sales, digital courses, paid newsletters, live events, and platform-specific monetization features. The revenue streams available to modern creators are remarkably diverse, and the most successful creators treat each one as a separate business unit. Let's talk about those revenue streams specifically because they reveal just how sophisticated the creator economy has become. Advertising revenue through platforms like YouTube remains important but is increasingly viewed as the least reliable income source. Algorithm changes, advertiser boycotts, and shifting viewer habits make it volatile. Smart creators use platform revenue as a floor, not a ceiling. Brand partnerships represent the biggest income source for most mid to large creators. A creator with 1 million YouTube subscribers can typically charge between $20,000 and $100,000 per dedicated sponsorship video, depending on niche and engagement rate. Finance, tech, and health-focused creators command the highest rates because their audiences have money to spend. A single sponsorship deal can exceed what many people earn in a year. Digital products have become particularly powerful because they scale infinitely. A course, an ebook, a template pack, or a membership community requires upfront work but can generate revenue continuously. Creators like Graham Stephan in personal finance, or Ali Abdaal in productivity, have built businesses generating millions of dollars annually through courses alone. The audience they built for free becomes the customer base for premium products. Merchandise and physical products represent another layer. But the most sophisticated creators don't just slap their face on a t-shirt. They study their audience's needs and build genuine consumer brands. Mr. Beast launching Feastables chocolate bars is perhaps the most dramatic example. He didn't just sell a product to his fans. He created a legitimate consumer goods company that competes on retail shelves, leveraging his audience as both a marketing asset and a proof-of-concept engine. The newsletter renaissance deserves particular attention. Platforms like Substack have enabled writers to build direct, monetized relationships with readers without any platform intermediary. Some Substack writers earn over $1 million annually from subscriber fees. This represents something philosophically important in the creator economy: the migration away from rented platforms toward owned audiences. Email lists don't change algorithms. They don't shadow ban you. They are yours. Now let's address the uncomfortable realities. The creator economy is not equally accessible or equally rewarding. Studies consistently show that the top 1% of creators capture a disproportionate share of total revenue. The barrier to entry is low, but the barrier to sustainability is brutally high. Most creators who attempt to go full-time fail not because they lack talent but because they underestimate the business requirements, the consistency demands, and the psychological toll of building in public while income remains unpredictable. There is also the question of platform dependency. Creators who built their entire businesses on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok are fundamentally vulnerable to policy changes, algorithm shifts, or platform decline. The creators who thrive long-term are those who treat each platform as a distribution channel for an audience they own, not as the business itself. Mental health is an increasingly urgent conversation in this space. The always-on nature of content creation, the pressure to perform authenticity while managing a brand, the exposure to public criticism at scale, these are genuine psychological stressors. Burnout among top creators is not an exception. It is almost a rite of passage. The romantic vision of doing what you love for a living collides daily with the operational reality of running a media business solo. Despite these challenges, the structural forces driving the creator economy forward are powerful and unlikely to reverse. Audiences increasingly distrust traditional media and seek voices they feel a personal connection with. Brands continue to shift advertising budgets toward creators because the targeting precision and authentic integration outperforms traditional formats.